Yo, it's the Master Connector coming at you, live and direct. This ain't AI, it's that real human connect. Yo, welcome to the Master Connector show, where the real ones pull up and the energy grow. Every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern, we live. LinkedIn and YouTube, where the real ones vibe. Started back in 2020, now the movement legit. Hundreds of episodes, and we still never quit. Steve Spiro, the Master Connector on attack. Rob Genevieve's the brand builder, got his back. Two introverts, turned masters of connection. 28 years deep, built on trust and direction. No fake networking, no pinch slapping attacks. We build real relationships, and that's all facts. Famous guests, athletes, authors, TEDx flames. Military leaders elevating the game. Pack 30 minutes, but the impact hits strong. Jump in the comments and connect all show long. Be authentic, stay others focused, have grit, build community strong.
Yeah, that's how we are.
Be authentic, stay others focused, have grit, build community strong. Yeah.
What's up, everyone? Every time I see that intro, it makes me smile again. I think that's good. Steve did a good job on producing that. But listen, welcome everybody to the Master Connector Show. I'm your co-host, Rob Genovese. I want to thank you for joining us today. Hopefully live, as we go live every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern time. And if you can't join us live, maybe you can watch the replay. We go out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you can listen to a show. We'll be there. And listen, go to masterconnector.show if you want to see the roster of people we got coming up in the future. That way you can bookmark if there's somebody that you absolutely need to hear live. Because why? You may have a question that you want to ask that guest. You could always put it in the comments. We always try and get your questions answered, but live is where it's at, because that way you can help level up your game and close the gaps between your knowledge so you can succeed faster. You know, today we got a great show, and Steve, he brings on amazing guests, and today's no different as we talk about thriving in the virtual space. And I remember, I was using Zoom before it was popular. I was doing it with clients, and then when COVID hit in 2020, I'm in the New York area. And I remember being in a networking event live on a Thursday, and the president said, as long as we're not told, that we cannot meet, we will be meeting every Thursday. And he put his fist down on the table. And the next morning, Friday, New York got shut down. So we went to virtual. And I got to tell you, a lot of people are like, you can't build relationships on virtual. Bet me, because I met people all over the country. And some of them, when I met them in person after meeting with them regularly for months, it was like a reunion with tears and laughter and hugs like you wouldn't believe. So virtual can work. It does work. We know it's here to stay, but it's just a part of the equation. We're going to talk about a lot of that today. So listen, we're all connectors here. Make sure you're connecting in the comments. But there's only one master connector. Let's bring him on, Mr. Steve Spiro. What's up, Steve? Come on, bud. Bring him on. Sometimes it takes a little while to connect.
I think it's we had a funky setting going on there.
What's
up there, Robbie G? As always, amazing, great job there, bringing in the heat. Appreciate you, bud.
Yeah.
And I remember that. I remember we were part of, and you, because of you, I became part of a networking group, and I remember it was literally, I think it was the day before the NBA shut down, and we had like our networking group, we had like full capacity. Everyone was there, and we knew COVID was there, but everyone was like, we that was how tight knit the group was. But anyway, it's crazy. But anyway, what's going on, everyone? Steve Spear, the Master Connector, coming at you live and direct. Well, listen, it's gonna be a great show today, as Rob said. And here's a question: have you ever stopped to think about how someone thousands of miles away can become one of your closest friends, mentors, or business partners without ever meeting you in person? I've had it happen. I love what Rob said. Bet me. If you don't believe it, bet me. I love that. But yeah, I mean, for years, I thought it had to be in person, and there is a lot of value to in person. Don't get me wrong. Amazing things happen, and there's a value to pressing flesh and being together. But you could still thrive in that virtual space. And a lot of it has to do with, in my opinion, your mentality, your heart, right? And what the virtual space did for me, it really defined and helped me cultivate a philosophy that now I speak on stage about, because it's really, a lot of it is, if you go into a virtual meeting, like maybe you're able to do in person, and I still think even in person, you don't want to do this, but there's a lot of people that start their in-person coffee meetings, or with the what do you do? Like, so what do you do? And that's great. But listen, because you're in person, sometimes you might be able to get away with it. You could shake someone's hand, put your hand on your shoulder, whatever, maybe hug, whatever. But you don't have that in the virtual space. You have that in person. But in the virtual space, you have to figure out a way to really connect. And if you've been a part of the show in the past, you probably heard me speak about this, that during COVID, I had 7 or 8 conversations, Zoom calls a day, and I felt more connected than I had in my entire life. And I had people on Zoom with me. They were in tears. They were like saying, Steve, I'm telling you more things that I've never told anyone before. They were, crazy, because I was able to connect by being others focused, by being authentic. Those are the keys, in my opinion. But we're going to talk more about this, and I'm excited to hear Dr. Stephen Greene's perspective on this. So if you're ready, listen, we're going to have a blast to have my man Robbie G introduce Dr. Stephen Greene. Put in the comments. Let's go. Robbie G, pass it to you, bud.
I got caught on the muted mic, everybody. Still happens. It's live. Can't correct it. All right, here we go. Dr. Stephen Greene is a virtual learning educator with more than a decade of experience helping entrepreneurs, startups, and business professionals thrive in the digital world. Through his proven triangle of success methodology, product viability, system automation, and mentorship, he equips individuals and organizations to maximize productivity and sustainable growth. An Amazon bestselling author of Maximum Education, Stephen specializes in virtual engagement, course creation, and strategic communication that helps people connect, teach, and lead more effectively in today's online world. Please welcome to the show, Dr. Stephen Greene. What's up, Dr. Stephen?
I'm here. I am excited.
You made it.
Thank you for having me, guys. And let's do some master connecting. Let's do it.
It's absolutely. And the Greene man was coming in from the green room, so appreciate that.
It's like a fate. It's a fate here.
Yes,
and Rob and I got the same microphone.
After you, right?
Yeah, we got the same microphone.
There you go. Pros.
Yeah.
Pros know what to use.
I feel out of place.
Yeah,
I'm not a cool guy. I'm not a cool kid. Anyway, I just want to acknowledge Russ Hedge, sponsor of our show on here. Appreciate you, Russ. Let's get somebody else here, Mr. Israel. I'm not going to attempt to say your first name, but great having you on here. And a new friend of mine, David Gruck, in the house from New York City. Appreciate you. And of course, Russ is chiming in here, and Rob telling you about. Yes, absolutely. We appreciate that. There we go. But anyway, great stuff. All right, let's dig into this. All right, Dr. Stephen, I really appreciate you being on here, and this has been a long time coming, and tremendous credibility. So I want to start with the questions here. Actually, there's another one I want to start with first, and we're living in this kind of virtual space, which allows us to be global, allows us to speak around the world. So I want to talk about global. So community, type in #global. So how, in your opinion, how has the virtual world completely changed what's possible for entrepreneurs and professionals? And in that hashtag, I gave away the topic, that title there, the idea there, but love to hear your perspective.
I think it's a simple perspective, which is opportunity.
Yeah.
Opportunity and taking advantage of opportunity. One of the things you'll hear is a little guy, me sitting in my office in Philadelphia, I can compete with a worldwide corporation, right? I got reach. I've got the ability to connect.
Yeah.
As long as you got at least half decent Wi-Fi and you got decent enough tech, you are not limited by your location. And look at it this way. Think about 10, 20 years ago. If you wanted to meet somebody, you had to maybe get on a plane or certainly drive. Yeah. You were so much downtime. Mm-hmm. If I had to fly to wherever to go to a meeting, I got a day and a half on each end. I can't get anything done. And now, what was it you said, Steve? You had 8 meetings a day, or was it Rob during COVID? Back to back to back to back to back, because you can do that. And it can be people from all over the world, all in one place at the same time. So my short opinion on this is opportunity is like never before. But not everybody's going to be able to take advantage of the opportunity if they're not equipped to do it, if not ready to do it, And you got to be careful, because if you don't do it right the first time, it's tough to go back and fix it. So prepping and really understanding your messaging and really understanding what you can deliver and what your channel is, in other words, who your prospects are and your client avatars are, is really, it's more important than ever.
I remember, talking about going into COVID and being pushed into virtual. I remember people were like, there's no way I'm going on Zoom or wherever. I need to be in person. And while I value what they were getting at, the problem was you couldn't get together in person, really couldn't, in mass, right? And people were getting on virtual and doing what you're saying, Dr. Stephen, which is taking advantage of the reach, of the opportunity to meet people. Like I said, I've developed connections. I got people in Florida. I got people in Texas. I got people all over the place, thanks to virtual, that I never would have met before.
I'm sure everybody could tell stories of being somewhere. And, I had people, and probably you two do, I'm sure people in the listening are, I was working with them 3, 4, 5 years virtually before I ever met them.
Yeah.
And then we'd finally meet. And it's like you were saying, it's like a family reunion.
Yeah.
And it was good because, you build up a relationship, a business relationship. You might have had some success together, maybe a lot of success together. And it was done through the magic of the cloud, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think the two of you are going to debate this, but we're not going back. Does anybody here want to be in a world where if I want to meet somebody, I have to go see them live? I'm not devaluing it. I'm just saying we don't have to do it anymore.
Yeah.
So, for an introvert like me and Steve, I think that's the beauty of it. I bet Steve would agree. We can meet virtual, right? Because I can be there in an instant and be gone in an instant. But if I really want to meet you, I can schedule time to get with you in person.
Yeah,
and it's a great way to be able to kind of vet whether or not you really want to invest the time.
Love that.
Yeah.
Very true. I want to dig in a little bit on your what you said before, Dr. Stephen. You said you're going to blow an opportunity if you're not prepared. Can you dig in on that a little bit? Talk a little bit about that being prepared piece. And I know we have other questions, and maybe we'll get to some of them, but love to hear what that means to you.
I'm sure everybody knows the so-called elevator speech, the 30-second commercial, the quick pitch. Your whole goal is, in a business person, in my opinion, is to build relationships.
Yeah.
If people have a need, people have a problem you can solve, and you're the expert in that field, you want them to work with you. They're not going to know that unless you tell them that, or they get referred to you directly, right? So you have a very small window to communicate that to people. People, for as great as the virtual world is, it's also huge amounts of noise, huge amounts of distractions, huge amounts of whatever. I'm sure there's people watching this who are also on their phone going, oh, we just got a text message, or oh, here's my phone. So clarity and precision of communication, which I like to call intentional clarity, is really, really important. And it's one of the things I work with people to help them develop. But just think about this, and then I'll keep it short. You want people to take action. You got to communicate that. People are going to hear. They're only going to hear a piece of what you say.
Yep.
And then they're only going to remember a piece of what they heard.
Yeah.
And they're only going to take action on a fraction of that. So immediately you're in a sort of funnel sort of a distillation process. So you got to make that quick hit. You got to remember it. And you got to say, hey, that's somebody I got to get back with.
Yep. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, it's interesting, and I was talking to somebody who might be, becoming a part of one of my networking groups. And I was saying to her, because she's trying to figure out what her business is going to be, and she's trying to come up with that sort of elevator pitch or that tagline or whatever. And I'm like, you can use the group, to be honest with you, as a way to do it. And I remember back in the day when I was, and this is that same group I was telling, that Rob turned me on to. But when I was doing my elevator pitch or my 30-second soundbite, people were thinking, were like, when I would get on a Zoom call with them, oh, so you're the guy that gets paid to connect people, right? And I'm like, no, that's not what I do, right? I speak on the power of human connection. So it forced me to be more clear and more concise as far as what I do. So I want to talk a little bit about concise. You touched on it before. I want to ask you why concise communication has become such an important skill today? So can we type in hashtag concise, and why would that be the case? Why is concise communication such an important skill?
It's partly what I just got done saying. People are so bombarded and so overloaded with content. And even if they don't have a lot of content, they got 100 things on their mind. And you got to really be able to just cut right in. And you don't want to be crazy over the top with it, but you got to get them something that's going to get them to have some reaction and say, yeah, I need to act on this. Because without any action, nothing is going to happen, right? The trouble is people have this compulsion that they got to explain every little minutia and nuance of what they do the second they meet somebody. Hey, Rob, I do this, and Steve, I do this, and this, because they don't want to miss out, possibly because they left out some tiny little thing that really they think the person is wanting to hear, right? So I'm going to tell you, people out there, in my opinion, you are way better off just having a really, really super defined singular message than you are trying to be all things to all people. It's in my world, I've proven that non-scientifically over and over and over and over, because it just works. It's partly psychology, it's partly human nature, but really, ultimately, is because people need to have a single way to remember things. If people have 10 ways to remember you, they're not going to remember you at all.
I got a perfect story for that, Dr. Stephen. Back when I was doing a lot of live networking, first in person, then on Zoom, my first business was not what I'm doing now. And I won't even mention it because that's how much I believe in what you're saying. I made a vow that I would never mention that business again, because I transitioned, I evolved, and some people still knew me as that other thing. But I knew if I said I did that, which I still do, I just don't, it's not the thing I sell. If I mentioned that, all of a sudden people categorize me as that guy. So I would never mention again. I only mentioned the thing I want them to remember. And I want to tell the audience what Dr. Stevens said earlier on about what you heard, what you kept in your mind, what you recalled, and then what you acted on. Like there's that trickle down to you get one little piece. Well, that piece better be the thing you want to be remembered for. Otherwise, you're kind of screwed, because confused people aren't going to reach out to you because they don't know what you do.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I want to just mention that we're talking about thriving in the virtual space with Dr. Stephen Greene. So thank you again for doing that, Dr. Stephen. And one of the things that I feel is valuable if you use it properly is in the virtual space is you could be present, right? You can, like one of the things that I'm a big believer on, make sure your cameras and you don't have a camera here, but the screen here. So you're looking that way and you're talking to this person here. That looks silly. You want people to feel like you're present, and you're responding to their last thing, and maybe you're not just like pretending like what they just said didn't even happen. So being present is super important. So I want to ask you, so community, type in hashtag presence. How do you create genuine engagement when you're speaking through a screen? I'd like to hear your perspective on that.
Number one, you got to know your audience. And if you don't know your audience, ask them. I've done presentations where I said, hey, I'm Dr. Steve. What is important to you? What is the most important thing you want to get out of our next 10 or 15 or 60 minutes, whatever it is? And sometimes people don't say anything. They might not know themselves, but the wheels start spinning.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I want to learn how to do this. I want to learn how to do this. Once you clarify that, if it isn't a title talk, you've all spoken, so sometimes you have a title, and that's basically what you got to stick to. But if you're just there in a relationship building or sort of midway through, kind of working with a client, turning from a prospect to a client to a really, really good client, ask questions. That's the only way you're really going to know. It's no different than really anything else in life. And by the way, everything we're talking about virtually works as well live.
Yeah,
it's just right. Virtually you got less wiggle room. In my opinion, you got less wiggle room in terms of, because you got so many people coming at people.
Yep.
But first thing you do is you can ask questions. Understand what your audience wants to know. And then, amazingly enough, answer what they want to know. But here's the thing. I've taught this. I teach this to my people. I say, you poll your group. If you know you're going to talk next Wednesday, maybe send out some feelers. What do you want to hear? Give me 5 questions you want the answers to. And then amazingly, they get that stuff and they don't even address it. So, if you're going to do that, which I'm highly recommending, then your next job is very simply to address it. So if somebody says, look, I need more business, I need better engagement when I send out an email, then great. Now I know that. Let's answer how you can accomplish that. Right. Yeah. So that's the simplest answer I can give you. UI and the 3 of us could write a book on that each, and it would all be different. But that's the simplest answer I can give you.
Yep. I love it. Appreciate it. So David says, I can hear everything, even if I don't have eye contact, because my ears is closer to you. Just remember that. Two
ears, one mouth, right?
Yep. Absolutely. For sure. Absolutely. David, appreciate your contribution. I've been seeing your comments coming in the chats. Thank you. Keep them coming. And if anyone has any questions for Dr. Stephen as well, definitely
lay them on us. Lay them on.
Yeah, for sure. Put in the comments. So Yolanda said, concise, keep short and focused every time. Exactly for where you want it. You want it. It's very true. Well, let's keep this going, right? And Rob could probably do a whole show himself on this topic, on the idea of the brand. So community, type in brand. But what are the biggest mistakes people make when they're building their personal brand online?
Number one, they are not, and I'm repeating myself because it's just true. They are not clear about what their best thing they're at. This is not complicated. Your clients have a problem they want solved. Mm-hmm. That's why they're willing to pay you money to get it solved, right? All you need to do, you want the simplest answer to help you successful in business, figure out what your clients need, and then be the best solution for them possible, regardless of price. That's it. Because people will overpay as long as they feel they're going to get the answer they want, they're going to get the solution they want without a huge amount of hassle. There's going to be some pain, right? Sometimes fixing things is not what people want to do, but they know they need to do it. So if you can figure out a way to clearly communicate what you do, why you do it, why you are the go-to person in that space. And by the way, I know you got a problem, prospect, because you told me, I asked you, or you identified that, and I'm the guy to fix it because I know how to do it. I've done it. I got a track record. I got recommendations. I got That's the key. That's really the simplest key to the whole game.
And that goes hand in hand with concise, because what you're saying is essentially give people the one big problem you solve. You have one singular solution for the most part, one single client or one type of client, because when that is that fast to, oh my gosh, that's the pain I feel. Oh my gosh, she's talking right to me. Oh my gosh, she's got the solution. Where do I send my credit card, right? Because people want the pain taken away fast. You don't go to a generalist when you got a very specific problem. I think we know that in the healthcare field. That's why everybody's a specialist these days, right?
The analogy I always give, which is, look, if I had a heart problem, do I want to go to any cardiologist, right? I'm sure they all know what they're doing, I hope. I want to go to the man. I want to go to the woman. I want to go to the best one, right? Because it's me. I'm taking care of myself, right? I got number one to deal with here. So it's no different, right? It's just, the thing is, it's not a health issue. It's a financial and a business issue. And sometimes people in business don't put this, it's a whole nother discussion I could have about thriving in the virtual space. You got to treat your business like a business. I don't care what you're selling. I don't care what your service is. I meet people all the time. Well, I sell jewelry. Well, do you sell jewelry or don't you sell jewelry? Don't apologize for it. Be proud of it. Scream in front of mountaintops. Because if you don't feel strongly about it, why should I? Why should Steve? Why should Rob? Why should anybody else on earth? So this is part of building brand. Building brand is what your identification is in the marketplace, right?
Yep.
Well, I'm looking at Rob. Rob's a brand builder. How do I know that? He told me he is. He better be good at it. I'm assuming he is. But no, but if you just identify yourself as that person, and then you back it up, right? Yeah, so again, none of this, on a level, some of this is so simple, and people overcomplicate it. But at the same time, it's complicated because an entrepreneur has to deal with so many different types of people, and you can get into I don't know what all the analyses are. I'm this kind of person. I work best with that kind of person, and all those personality tests and stuff you can do, and there's value in them. But in the end, people respond when they believe the person on the other side of the screen or the other person on the side of the table is the best person to fix their problem, and they want to partner with.
Boom. There you go.
Yeah, boom, bada bing. And David Groek has a Goek. I'm sorry, I'm probably butchering it again, David. Apologies. I'll just do David. What would you tell your younger self?
That's a tough question, man. That's a hard one to ask.
It is. It is. But
marry somebody rich and retire early. How about that, dude?
I'll just say this because I'm going to talk a little bit
kidding.
about. I want you to talk about personal growth, and Rob and I were part of a business team for a while that really emphasized growing you. If you're going to grow your business, you got to grow you. So important, and I think the younger generation understands the value of that as well. That self-development piece. So I would love as we close down to hashtag community, hashtag growth. What would you? So my question is. What would you say? Why would you invest in yourself?
I have a serious answer for Dave. I got a serious answer for David, and thank you for answering that because it's a good question.
Yeah.
Get good mentorship as early as you can in your life.
There you go.
Do not try to go down the rocky road by yourself. Okay. I did it. Yep. Probably Steve did it probably because in the old days, that was the only the harder you work, the more money you make. I went to school in the snow and I climbed uphill both directions getting there. There was like this macho kind of vibe about how much struggle you had to go through to be successful, right? Yep. I'm telling you, people, you don't have to do that anymore. There are so much talent out there that wants to help. Now, you may have to pay for it, and you may have to commit to it. Oh, my God, you might have to change something in your routine. But there is so much good mentoring out there. Interview people. Find the people that work best with you. But the earlier you get good habits that you never need to change the rest of your life. I wish I knew when I was 30 years ago what I knew now. When I started my business, I would have killed it so much more if I knew now what I knew then. But I learned a lot of it just through experience and making mistakes. But that's because you just didn't think, in my generation, we just didn't think about getting mentoring that way. I'm telling you, that's the one thing I have learned in 30 plus years of being in the spaces. I wish I had gotten sought out. Not come to me and try to sell me a $20,000 coaching program, sought out mentoring that I knew would help me sooner.
I love that. And so true, the power of mentorship. I mean, that has been transformational for me. And then being able to pay it forward, right? I think it's so important to have somebody.
It's one of my three vertexes of this triangle of success.
Yeah, agreed. It's awesome. Well, we got almost my least favorite time of the show, which is we got to start to close it down. But so appreciate you, Dr. Stephen. Amazing job. I know you have an offer for the community. Tell them a little bit about that and what the best way to reach you, if you don't mind, please.
A super powerful and easy tool for every entrepreneur out there is a lead magnet. One of the things I do in my business is I help people create them. I also help people analyze them, make sure they're strong. Anybody wants to reach out to me, it's greenteam.net, thegreenteam.net, or you can email me. You can put this in the show notes or whatever. Or you can even just hit me up in WhatsApp or even LinkedIn. I'll be happy to help you. So, I'll take a look at what your content is. I'll take a look at what your messaging is. We'll do a little, coffee thing and see how I can help you. No obligation.
Appreciate that. Yeah. Well, we just appreciate your big time. Keep doing the great work that you're doing, and just thank you again for bringing incredible value. So
that was like the quickest 20 minutes ever, man.
It's crazy. This show, we could speak for hours. We really can.
I'm sure that we could. That was awesome. But, I appreciate what you guys are doing, man. You're doing a great service. Keep it going.
Thank you. Yep. Well, we'll see you in the green room. Hang out a little bit if you can. So thank you again. Appreciate you. Yep. All right. Awesome stuff. Wow. Well, if you like that, next week, next time, next same bad time, same bad channel, July 22nd, episode 270, connecting people to purpose, money, legacy, with Drew Berman. Sorry. Great. Gonna be a great show. And if you want to learn more about up and coming shows, go to masterconnector.show. You want to learn how to be a sponsor. You want to learn how to potentially be a guest on our show, same place, masterconnector.show. But I want to close it down with a quick story. And many of you know this man, but Before becoming one of the most respected investors in the world, Warren Buffett spent some years investing into something that couldn't be measured on a balance sheet: his ability to communicate. He even credits taking a public speaking course as one of the most valuable investments he ever had made, because it multiplied every other skill he possessed. Never underestimate the power of investing in yourself, because the person you become can impact countless of others. So listen, go out and be that beacon of light of the world, and go be a blessing. God bless, and we'll see you next week.
Yo, welcome to the Master Connector Show, where the real ones pull up and the energy grow. Every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern